Firefighting in Canada this week is brought to you by VFIS of Canada, a division of CVIS Incorporated, Canada's largest insurer of firefighters. This week, we'll provide an update on Canada's worsening opioid crisis. Then, a new study looked at changes in the protective properties of firefighting gear over time. And, in the November edition of Firefighting in Canada magazine, editor Laura Aiken writes about the cleaner cab conversation happening in Canadian departments. Canada's ongoing opioid crisis has worsened since COVID-19 hit Canada, and the potency of deadly drugs appears to be on the rise. British Columbia is one of the many provinces and territories reporting record-breaking overdoses this year. In a press release, Acting Inspector Connor King said that since the start of the pandemic, potent fentanyl concentrations have been rising. On October 21st, Victoria Police Strike Force officers and the Greater Victoria Emergency Response Team seized a kilogram of fentanyl with a street value of more than $1 million. This coincided with newly released data on opioid-related harms from January 1, 2016 to March 31, 2020, which found that one-third of the more than 16,000 people who died from opioid overdoses over the 4-year period across the country were in British Columbia. Since March, increased opioid overdose numbers have been cited in jurisdictions in Ontario, British Columbia, Alberta, Manitoba, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Saskatchewan, and the Yukon. In British Columbia, for instance, a striking 170 fatal overdoses were reported in May alone. Chief Public Health Officer Teresa Tam has been vocal about the increasing opioid deaths and said the need to reduce harm is more important now than ever. A new study published in the U.S.-based research journal Fire Technology looked into the performance of firefighting PPE after years of routine use and laundering. They used a protocol that included repeated simulated exposures and repeated cleaning techniques often used in the fire service. PPE was tested after undergoing one of 5 different treatments, categorized by gear exposure and by cleaning method. The results suggest that some important protective properties of bunker gear can be decreased after repeated exposure and repeated cleaning cycles when compared to the condition of new gear. They found that turnout gear is significantly changed after about 40 laundry cycles and by simulated fireground exposures followed by cleaning. The cover story for the November edition of Firefighting in Canada magazine delves into the important conversation of clean cab. Across Canada, fire departments are determining what implementing clean cab measures means to their stations and to their crew. To learn more about what's happening for cleaner cabs in Canada, read the full article on firefightingincanada.com. Thanks again to VFIS of Canada, a division of CVIS Incorporated, Canada's largest insurer of firefighters. Stay tuned for our next episode on Friday, November 20th.